The following program is rated TV-17, containing bad language.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Sexual situations.
Would you like me to take your pants off instead?
Nudity.
Sure.
And graphic depictions of nut-crunching dick kicks.
Oh, I just had to kick you in the diddly again.
Parental discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ronin Joe Show, episode 13. We are here to get you ready for your Monday workday, which absolutely sucks, but hopefully we can have a little bit of fun here in the next hour or so. CinemaCon was on. Interesting things coming out of that. The new Superman clip has got the fan base divided yet again. We'll definitely jump into that. And Rob Liefeld, platform release, changes the game. We're going to talk all about that and more tonight on the Ronin Joe Show. Let's go. Welcome to the Ronin Joe Show, everybody. Thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate everybody that joins me tonight. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Wrapping up your weekend, maybe getting your week started. Whatever it is, we are here for you. It's been a hell of a fun weekend. I actually almost finished with the first page of Reaper Destroyer issue 2. So that has got me psyched up. I'm excited. Can't wait for you guys to read issue 1 if you haven't yet, and to jump into issue 2 when we launch that later on this summer. Say hi to everybody that's in the chat right now. I got people still filtering in here. Wherever you're at, let people know that we are live, or that I am live. Stream it out on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on Rumble, YouTube, wherever you guys might be watching. Please hit the like, come in here to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel if you would. Hail Lore was number 1 in my heart and number 1 in that chat. That means you, sir, are.
You're number 1.
Yes, sir, you are. Number 1. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Also got Mark Pengrin here, as always. My man says Youngblood number 1 ships out 1 week from tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that coming up with the Rob Liefeld platform release, which I think is going to be really interesting, and I want to see how many people adopt that going forward in the independent scene. We got Blue Boy Comics in the house. If my partner Sean Aaron was here, he'd be like, "You're my boy, Blue." Great to see you, brother. He says, "My date with the librarian fucking rocked." We have another coming up on Tuesday. Nice, man. Well, keep us updated on your love life there, but I'm happy for you because we talked about it on Hot and Stuff on Thursday. Librarians, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You do you, brother. You do you. We've got Sheldon Martin, member of the channel, in the house. We also have Keith Ward, another member of the house. Cosmic Studios, great to see you guys. Thank you for being here. It feels so good to have all the members in the house tonight. Appreciate you guys. Charles Rivas, what up and hail to all. Hail to you, my friend. Good to see you. Paul Dare's in the house as well. Great to see you, man. I like that. What is that? What is the icons, the YouTube icon there? I like that. Digging it, man. Digging it. Also jumping in here, we got Simulating Knowledge and hail the chat. Hail to you as always, my good friend. The Gooch is in the house. What up, brothers? What up to everyone? What up to you? Everybody make sure you check him out at 11:15-ish. Stay in the chat. If you're in here, you'll be directed right to his show. One of the hottest shows on Sunday night. Be there. Or be square, the cool kids say. Do they still say that? I don't know. They've got to say that. I'm sure they do. All right. Let's jump into this. Let's get going. Let's rock out here. All right. All right. All right. We're going to get that down. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Guys, wherever you're at, please hit the like button. Come to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I have to say, I asked everybody that follows this channel, whether you watch Ott and Stuff, the Spawn Review, the Ronin Joe Show, that we've been doing a lot of shorts and a lot of clips of a lot of our shows, putting them out there. I asked everybody to go out there. If you see them pop up, watch them, hit the like button, comment on them. I got to give a shout out to the people that have actually done that throughout the week. I appreciate you guys. That is going to help grow the channel, especially the likes and the comments. So shout out to all of the people that subscribe to this channel for helping us out. We really appreciate you. Apex Comics is in the house. Says, "Yo, Ronin Joe, check out my unboxing." Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. We should do that. How long is it? I could do that now. We'll do it. Where are you? Know what? I'll look at it after the show. But hell yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna check that out. I appreciate you, brother. Very much so. All right. Lots of fun things happened over the week. And as you guys know, what I talk about here on the show is anything from Sunday to Sunday. That is my week. That is the Ronan Joe week. And anything that pops up that seems interesting, I am going to jump into that. And we're going to talk about that. So, fun things. A lot of stuff out of CinemaCon. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that. A lot of trailers came out. A lot of, a lot of interesting things. We're going to get to the Superman trailer because I know a lot of people have been talking about that. There's a lot of nerd debate going on about the sun, which, whatever. Yeah, I don't really get into that, but it's funny watching social media sometimes. The interactions people have with social media. People take this stuff way too seriously. Way too seriously, in my opinion. But there is, what was it? Man, where is it? What did I want to start with? Okay, here we go. One thing I did see that I've seen a couple people, more than a couple people, getting worried about out there. Bring this up. All right, good. Not doxing anybody. Look at me. Go, Joe. Go, Joe. So, Robert Downey Jr., I guess, had a birthday. And he posted this photo, or at least a photo was taken of him with this hair, right? And it's getting people to speculate if this is going to be the take on Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. So here we go. So here's his hair. And he's rocking this. I don't even know what the hell this is. This wavy. It's not Jerry curl. Help me out in the chat. I don't know what this is. It's kind of frosted. It looks frosted. Maybe it's gray hair. I'm not sure. He's getting older. You know, he needs to get off of that that diet everybody's doing in Hollywood because he looks like he's wasting away. And he's gained a little bit of weight. But he's rocking this look. And of course, everybody right off the bat, they're like, "Is this going to be the look of Doctor Doom in Doomsday?" I have to say, I hope not. If that's the case, I really hope not. But when you look at this picture, damn, it looks like Robert Downey Jr. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I have no idea what this is. First time I ever saw it. I've not been a big, huge, I mean, I like Doctor Doom as a character, but I've never really followed a lot of the comic books. So I don't know what this is from, who drew this, what the storyline is, or what has anything to do with it. But everybody's got to do the thing, yo. Hairstyle matches up. It's got to be this. Let's freak out. We'll freak out and we're going to talk about it. Because, again, nerd conversations. I'm not above having a nerd conversation. I debate all the time. We talk about comics. We talk about art. I'm all about it. But some people, majority of people in the nerd circle, I guess, and this is no shit on the nerds. You know, I'm a nerd myself. But it's just interesting the things that will rub people the wrong way. And we'll get people arguing for no reason. Like, whatever. It could just be a hairstyle. Maybe they're going with something like this. But I seriously doubt Marvel is going to go this way and put out Doctor Doom looking like this for the first time around. Maybe flashbacks, maybe something like that. But I highly doubt this is what they're going to do. Nerds! Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't the sun. It was his ribs snapping back into place. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't even want to get into that discussion because it was so stupid. It's so stupid. It's like, okay, and you know what it is? This is talking about the Superman stuff. I guess I'll just cover this for a second, but we'll jump into the actual 5-minute teaser they put out there. But the conversation was when Superman's getting healed by the sun. And people, if you don't have their exact opinion, they're like, "Oh, you're tourist. I fucking hate when people say tourist. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's the stupidest insult too. But they're like, you know, don't you know that the sun heals Superman? And why is he hurt? And somebody else would jump in and be like, well, his ribs are broken. His bones are snapping back in place. You know, of course it hurts with the sun. You're both right. I don't really give a shit on the entire conversation. Everybody's right on that. It's just watching people argue about that back and forth is ridiculous to me. Yeah, who cares? Hey, Laura, love you, brother. Sylvester had a birthday too. He did. It was wasn't it last week though? The Sylvester had a birthday. He's like friggin' he's getting, was he 66? Robert Downey Jr. turned 60 on April 3rd. Wow. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. You know, I was watching this show with my wife called Bondsman or The Bondsman on Prime with Kevin Bacon. And it's a fun show, by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. It's good. I really like it. I think we're 4 episodes in to the first season. It's like eight episodes or whatever. But I was like, man, Kevin Bacon looks pretty good for his age. And we are like, how old is Kevin Bacon now? And I was like, yeah, he's got to be like, what, late 50s, right? I'm thinking late 50s. And I'm like, I'm going to look it up. So I asked Suri, I'm like, Suri, how old is Kevin Bacon? Pops it up. So Kevin Bacon is 66 years old or something like that. And I was like, holy, no way. No way is Kevin Bacon that old. Dude doesn't look like he's close to 70. If you watch that show, he does not look like he's close to 70. If that's the case, I better fucking be that good, in shape, looking that good when it comes to being up in my later 60s, which hopefully is, god dang, it's like 20 some odd years away. I just depressed myself. I don't want to talk about it. Adamantine and Blade Comics Collectible says, howdy, folks. Howdy with you, brother. Good to see you, man. Robert Downey Jr. has the same birthday as my oldest brother, April 4th. He turned 60. Nice, man. Well, happy birthday to your oldest brother as well. Bonds, yes, thank you, Gooch. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, I just saw an advertisement on Facebook, went over, watched the trailer, then I told my wife about it. And I'm talking to my good buddy Sean Aaron, my co-host on Ott and Stuff, and also the Spawn Review, and he'd already watched it. He's like, "Oh, dude," he's like, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "No, I just saw it, haven't watched." He's like, "You're gonna love it," and sure enough, I dig it, man. It's a perfect combination of horror and comedy. It's just a fun story. You know, it really is. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. Trust me, you'll like it. We got Christopher Bouchard in the house. Welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. Yes, it was odd to see Soups bleed, but yeah, to give the movie folks some artistic license on how fast the Yellow Sun fixes him up. You know, it's a writer's thing. That's why it's not a conversation I would debate on. Because I'm just like, whatever. It's it's the discretion of the writer. You know, if you want to show that him healing and it doesn't hurt him, fine. I got no problems with it. If you want to show it where it does hurt him, I don't care about that either. It's just watching the conversation to me was hilarious. Just going through the comments and seeing how angry people get at each other and just like the name calling and all that stuff. It's social media. It's just, come on though. It's like, come on, this is something better for us to be doing. It does have, Gooch, I was talking to Sean. I was like, it's kind of like, Spawn meets, Spawn meets Johnny Blaze, right? And so not the Ghostbuster, Ghost Rider, but he goes to hell, he comes back, and now he's a bounty hunter for the devil, hunting down demons. I mean, cool concept, not crazy unique or anything, but definitely a cool concept. And Kevin Bacon he's good in almost everything I've seen him in. There's only a handful of stuff that I just refuse to watch him in because the premise of the movie is dumb or whatever. Like the They Them movie, that horror movie or whatever it was called. I didn't even watch that. I thought that was stupid. But for the most part, I'll check out anything Kevin Bacon does because I've liked Kevin Bacon going back to Tremors. It was the first time I ever saw him in a movie, and this was back in, what was that, 91? I remember being pretty young in that, but yeah, dude's awesome. He's legit. Got Edwin in the house. What's going on, brother? Also have John Snowden. My nerd red line, Impossible Man sucks and Jack should be ashamed of him. All right. I don't know who's Impossible Man. It's a nothing burger to me. Yeah, me too. Where is the Doom armor? Yeah, so this, I have no idea. I have no idea about this storyline. I just saw this posted around. I saw people talking about it, and obviously people are freaking out about it. I'm just like, wait and see. Everything should be a wait and see. Like Superman, we're going to cover that here in a second. We're going to, conversation started, so let's just jump to that. Might as well. But the Superman thing is more of, you can make a judgment on that because we've seen a lot more of it, right? So some of this other stuff is just like hearsay, it's speculation. Could it be, but the Superman stuff, we've seen a trailer, we've seen now this 5-minute clip. So you can kind of, nope, that's the wrong one. You can kind of make a good judgment on what you think this movie is going to be or what you think the movie is not going to be. I personally think the movie is going to be okay. I don't know. I'm holding that. I try to say this all the time. I hold out full judgment until I see a movie. I can't just go see a movie or I can't not go see a movie and just make these flat out judgments. I just don't do that. I think it's dumb. I think it's just dumb. I have to go see the movie and I can tell you exactly what I feel about the movie. I did the same thing with Snow White, even though that wasn't a purposeful thing. I bought the tickets and I took my daughter with my wife and that's what it was. But I could give an honest opinion after seeing the movie. Superman, I gotta go see it. I can have some judgments about what I think the movie's gonna be as of what I've seen so far, and I'm kind of iffy. There's things about it that look good, that could be good, and then there's other stuff where I look, I'm just like, oh man, this just isn't it. One of the things that just isn't it is this 5-minute clip that they put out, and let's play it right now. I'm sure you guys have all seen this, so this is nothing new to anybody, but we're going to watch this. We're going to react to this right now. And I just thought this was not the clip that I would have put out if I was really trying to get people excited for this movie. And we're going to see why. So here we go. Kind of picked up from the beginning of that trailer we saw a while back. Okay. About to get into one of my first problems with this, but Baz says, I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Superman family members as the quirky 70s sci-fi elements. And see, that's what I don't want to see. I think that's the part that's bothering me about this movie. Everybody wanted a brighter Superman since the dark Snyder Superman, which I actually didn't mind. I understood where the storyline was going. I actually kind of liked it. But I feel like this is an overcorrection in the wrong direction. Yes, it's a very bright Superman. But I think I don't know if the gun comedy is going to work with this. And we're going to see why here in 2 seconds. I remember people being really excited that Crypto was in here. Okay. First of all, I don't like that there's no real score in this scene. You know, it's too empty. They need some kind of score going on for this scene. The other thing I don't like about this is if you're gonna have Crypto in the show or in the movie, I don't understand why you're gonna use him for the comic relief. And this is the thing I don't like about dogs, and I'm a dog lover, but this is the thing that would drive me crazy about a dog. If this is supposed to be his best friend, man's best friend, right? You're relying on Crypto to come save you in a situation where he's obviously beat up. Somebody beat the shit out of him. I'm assuming it's Lex Luthor, something with kryptonite, really worked him over or whatever. He's in a bad way. You are calling your dog to save you. And the scene, instead of the dog coming and doing something very heroic and something you could get behind and be like, that's really cool. He shows up, doesn't understand the situation, is jumping all over Superman, hurting him more. And it's really more of like an annoyance. Like that's the kind of thing I would start yelling at my dog about instead of being like, "Oh yeah, you're here to save me." I don't like that. I thought, this is where I worry about the humor when it comes to this movie, and like this stuff. It just I'm not getting it. Taking inspiration from Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yep. We don't need Marvel jokey joke. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're looking for, Star Wars Marvel purists, and I get that. Like that's it. Gunn's movie worked for Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. All three of them I thought were pretty good. I thought 1 and 2 were probably the best of the three, but three was fine. But bringing that comedy over to DC, which I don't know, man. Like it didn't seem to work. I didn't like Suicide Squad. I thought it was just comedy, over the top, R-rated comedy, stuff that I'd seen before. Nothing in Suicide Squad was original funny. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I've seen that joke before. This twist I've seen before, whatever. It just didn't land. And now we're seeing this with Superman. This is what has me worried. Is this going to be a movie that's full of scenes like this? I hope not, because this is not the only part in this clip where we see this. Well, hello, Lord. I guess it says people don't know Crypto will have an issue with this people who don't know Crypto will have an issue with. I mean, it depends, I guess, when you've seen Crypto. Like some of the stories I've seen Crypto, and he doesn't act like this. And maybe some stories he does. He seems like more of a puppy character here than anything else. But like some of the times I've seen Crypto in the comics, he hasn't acted like this. This is actual dogs though. Yeah, but Crypto's not an actual dog. He's a super dog. He's got superpowers. The times I've seen him in the comic books, he didn't act like this. To me, this is just comedy for comedy's sake. It's just personal opinion, but this is one of the things I really didn't like about this at all. It's pretty accurate, but I could be wrong. To the Crypto character, I mean, it could be. I guess maybe what I've seen out of Crypto is completely different than this, but I'm not a huge Crypto fan, so this could be. Now Crypto wants to kick his ass. Yeah. Maybe Gunn wants people to hate dogs because he does. That could be. They're attempting lighthearted chuckle moments as Superman lays there jacked up. Didn't work well. That's exactly what it is. And you can see that as the writing goes. Just like, instead of letting this scene play out the way it probably should and let the tension kind of build, if he just got rocked and he just got beat up by, I'm assuming, Lex Luthor in this scene, and I could be wrong on that too. This is just speculation. Let that marinate. Let the audience kind of see that and get into the headset of him being really hurt, and be along with that pain. This kind of takes it out. Marvel does this too, though. It's been my complaint with some of the Marvel movies as well, is that sometimes inappropriate comedy. When I mean inappropriate comedy, I mean it's the wrong place to put it. Personal taste, similar to like the old comics. This is similar to like the old comics, the old days. Look somewhere else. Appreciate it, man. I don't know if I've seen you in here. Please hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know. I only go back so far when it comes to the old comics. Jay Ryan's in the house. What's going on, brother? Says, yes, nothing is serious. Everything is a joke. This is a classic Josh Whedon effect. Everything is snark. No one can be serious about anything. I think that's kind of my point. It's when it comes to just this scene. I just found it annoying. Whether I guess it's Crypto the way he acts or not, I'm not sure. Again, the times I've seen him in the comics, he was not this. This was not him.
Take me home.
He also didn't look like this.
Home. Crypto. Home.
There you go. Good dog. Good dog. This is another thing I didn't understand. Looks cool. I get it. The Fortress of Solitude coming out of the ice looks cool. It just didn't make any sense to me. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a version. And again, I could be wrong. There could be a version in the comic books where someone is out there in the comments or whatever. They'll be like, oh, this happened in issue Superman, whatever, Action Comics, whatever. So it's accurate. I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying it looks weird to me. It's cool visual. It just doesn't make sense. Do you guys think this is the beginning of the movie? Because it has the feel of like a beginning scene, of an opening scene of a movie where you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. They're bringing you in. Maybe they do a little bit of a flashback. If this is smack dab in the middle of the movie, this is a bad tone, in my opinion. Star Wars Marvel Purist says, agreed, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 went a little over the top on the jokes, and I didn't like Adam Morin, but High Evolutionary was just an evil villain, which was good. Yeah, and again, I like those for those movies. I thought it worked well for that movie because they established it from the beginning. They were kind of characters nobody cared about for the most part, so you could kind of have some license with them. Superman's a little different, because people bitch so much about the Zack Snyder Superman being too dark. People have takes on Superman because of what Superman's supposed to be. Some people might be like, this is it. This is exactly what Superman's supposed to be. And I don't know if that's the case either. I do understand that this is not going to go well for this generation. To me, I don't know if it's a generation thing. To me, it's just, I think I'm just kind of over, and this goes for the Marvel movies as well. I think I'm just kind of over the campy comedy and everything. I like having some levity here or there that can make you laugh because a line that someone says or something happens out of the ordinary that makes you chuckle in the movies. That's fine. But I feel like this is just the formula that they are doing now. And I see it in this movie. Obviously, it's Gunn. It's something I'm not really a big fan of. So this is what has me worried. That being said, I'm still going to go see the movie.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
Okay.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow.
Okay. There's the debate right there. He is messed up on the inside. The sun is going to heal him because the sun gives him healing factors. Everything that's in his body is going to heal. He feels it while he is down this way. So yes, everything is painful. I get it. Debate over. Let's move on.
Sun will have you up and at 'em in no time. Level 4? 292 times Saharan Prime, please, one.
Okay. I don't know. It's not something that got me excited. And I'm someone that said that I'm looking forward to going and seeing this movie. The first trailer I liked. It got me excited for the movie. I was like, okay, I'm in. The first trailer looks good. There's still some things I don't like about it. This clip didn't get me all excited as someone that's going to go spend my money to go see this movie. Yeah, but Superman is also a man, baby. AKA everyone who will see this in a theater, since comics are a niche audience, barely anyone knows who Crypto is. No, that's true. And it'll probably go over very well. To me, it's not necessarily Crypto. It's the comedy in the wrong place. It's not where I would have put it if I was building this up to a serious thing happen to Superman, and I want the audience to know that Superman is in a bad way. I wouldn't have put comedy into any of these scenes. I would have had it very serious, so you knew that there was a reason to worry until he gets healed by the sun. That's what I would have done. So to me, it's just more or less, it's more the comedy being in there, not so much that it's Crypto. Usually dogs, when they smell blood, go where wound is and start licking it. They know when things are serious. There you go. Sheldon Martin, appreciate you. Star Wars purist, Marvel purist says, when I watch Superman, not interested in seeing this dog and 4 androids save him. He's supposed to be a hero. I don't mind that he's injured, because we've seen in the comics before when Superman gets beat up or banged up by something, right? I don't mind that that's a factor. I don't like that it's played off for laughs. Let it be a serious thing. Let us, as the audience, know that it's serious. And then we can kind of be like, all right, one, who did this to him? I'm assuming we're going to find out in the movie, but as the trailer goes, and then also let's just marinate, like I said, and get into the scene of him being that injured. The comedy takes you out of it. It takes all the stakes out of it. Like, I'm not worried about Superman right now. Yeah, I'm sure, it's Superman. He's going to get healed. He's going to get out of this whole thing because that's what it is. But as I'm getting invested into the story, as I'm watching the movie, I want to be in that scene and seeing how things are going to play out, not be pulled out of it because of comedy. It just, that's just it. Just like how Superman is an alien, and he had to learn over time how humans operate, and it's the same way with Crypto. Yeah, he's a Kryptonian dog, but he's still just a dog as well. Yeah, I mean, and they're playing him for more of a puppy. Yeah, I get that. Agreed. Sheldon Martin, Crypto is acting out of character. And see, this is the conversations. And again, I don't mind debate because having good conversations and having healthy debate when it's a mature debate is fine. It's just when people start going off the board and really like it's personal to them that people have a different opinion or don't know the sun or don't know this, blah, blah, blah. Berners, yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Crypto was more of a retriever instead of a white mutt. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. At least that's why they've always kind of drawn him. And I don't know, I'm not the crypto, expert here in the house by any means. I think Crypto acting like a dog is an interesting character trait and might be fun in the context of the film. I'm assuming that, Gunn uses a lot of things for comedy. Crypto is probably going to be the comedic relief in a lot of these scenes besides some of the other characters, but that's what I'm assuming he's set this character up. And, whatever. If that's the case, that's what it is. It's just in this particular scene, if this is what you're putting out to people to get you excited, I would have put out a different scene, personally. If I was trying to get people excited about Superman, show them doing Superman things, because that's what people want to see. People want to see Superman being Superman. Do that. This was just not it. And I thought the comedy just seemed out of place. Don's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Also have the timescales in here. Great to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I hated the High Evolutionary. Great villain. Didn't Star Wars start like this? A New Hope? Like this? No. Empire Strikes Back, I guess. Similar. YSA, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Fortress of Solitude, caped robots, doctors, and security. We have Richard Gradwell in the house. I don't know. I like this, and I can't wait to see the movie. No, and I think that's great. Don't let my opinions tear you down, everybody. We can all have different opinions, and that's awesome. I'm still going to see this movie. I have hopes that this movie is going to be good. I have problems with this 5-minute clip. I don't think it was the right clip to put out. I think the comedy was too much when you're trying to actually show off what this new movie is going to be. And I almost think it's an overcorrection from all the whole quote unquote, everyone was, oh, the dark Superman, Snyder's can't handle this BS. And now we're going to this very light, very, campy Superman. And I don't know if that's really going to be it. I really don't, because the whole campiness, I think, is getting old. I don't think people liked campy when it came to Batman. You haven't seen Batman be campy in forever, because it just didn't land with the generation and like a more mature generation. And I think there's a generation that wants to see somewhere in between the Dark Snyder and this campy version. And this might be it. Like I said, I'm holding out judgment until I actually see the movie, and I'll let you guys know. It's just didn't get me excited. That's all. Comparing Guardians of the Galaxy and the Superman doesn't make any sense. Totally different feels for each movie. Chris Pratt is a master at the lighthearted, goofy comedy as well. Adamantium Black Comics Collectibles. It's a lot to say there. I can't believe I actually said that. Well, the reason why you can compare it is because of James Gunn. It's his writing, is his humor. Now, the problem is the humor in Guardians of the Galaxy was great because of Chris Pratt, because he is great at comedic timing and one-liners and facial expressions and all that stuff that made that work. And so was the other actors that were in that movie as well. The problem is I feel like he's going to bring that same kind of feel and try to put it into this movie, and it almost, you've casted people or actors that might not fit the ability to have that kind of jokey feel. Like, this is it. This is the flagship of the James Gunn universe, right? Superman. This is the movie you're launching everything on. This is the start. It's Superman, first superhero, in history of comics for the most part. And this has to land. And I think I'm worried that they're like, we need to do way more formulaic aspects to this movie than before, so that this lands. Not taking any chances. Let's take everything that worked. Guardians of the Galaxy comedy worked. The Marvel comedy worked. Let's bring that into DC, because all they've had is Dark Snyder universe for the last 10 years, so let's bring this in. My worry is that they're just going to overcorrect. So we'll see. Why do the robots blink? To make him more human? I don't know. You have to ask James Gunn. My only problem with Man of Steel is Pa Kent death. Should have left the comic accurate. I'll agree with you on that. I like the dichotomy of Krypton's father versus the Earth father beliefs, and basically was Superman day one. I liked Man of Steel a lot. I don't mind that Pa Kent died the way he died. And see, here's the thing, like, I can have issues with movie. I can have issues with this movie when I go see it. But I try to see it through the way that the writer director is trying to portray it and be like, as a story, does it work for me in the way that they are telling it? And if that's the case, I can take things that are out of place or out of character for certain things if it's fitting within the story. Like the Batman. Matt Reeves, the Batman, I liked. It's not my favorite Batman, but I liked it. I could see what they were trying to do with it. And I tried to get into that mindset in that world so that I could enjoy it instead of sitting here and nitpicking every single thing to the movie, which is just going to lead me to not having any enjoyment whatsoever. So, despite some of the negative things I'm saying about this, just being honest about this not being something that gets me excited about Superman, there's a lot that I am intrigued about what they're going to do with this character. And I really hope it's going to be a good movie. I want it to be a good movie. Superman is one of my favorite characters. I'm not a huge fan of the comics because there was a lot of time I didn't like a lot of the writing in the comics and a lot of the art in the comics growing up, but the character itself, huge fan. So I want Superman to be successful no matter who's doing it. So I truly hope this is going to be good. There's just some things I don't like about it so far. I get the screaming suddenly healing like that. Shit, man, got to be painful. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to watch it without expectations and let it stand on its own feet. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it's good. I'm right there with 100% with you. That's exactly how I look at things. You know, I try not to go in with lower or higher expectations on anything because I want to enjoy the movie. But when you see a trailer, you can either get excited about a trailer or you can have worries about a trailer. You can either go see the movie or decide not to go see the movie. So this is just opinions out there, but I'm very much going to go see this movie in July. I'm going to give my honest. If I come out of this movie and like, you know what, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I really like it. I can't wait for the next movie. I'm going to say that. I got no agenda here to sit here and try to push any kind of narrative for YouTube purposes or anything like that. This is just honest opinions. And this was not the clip for me. I would have much rather seen Superman come out and do, fight that kaiju. You give me a scene where he's fighting the kaiju or saving that little girl that we see in the trailers. That stuff looked cool. I want to see Superman doing Superman stuff. This was kind of just like, this is nothing burger for me. And the comedy, I felt it took me out of it personally. As a watcher, as someone that's trying to enjoy a story, the comedy took me out of it. Well, yeah. Well, nobody's gonna be Christopher Reeves. Like that's a pedestal, right? It's like Reeves, and then everybody else underneath it will debate. Reeves is the GOAT. Let's relax. I thought the Batman was gonna suck. I was wrong. David, what's going on, brother? Great to see you, man. Yeah, and that's exactly what I just kind of said. Like I can have all these opinions going into a movie. I still look at anything with as open of a mind as I can when I go see anything when it comes to the nerd spaces. Especially and I remember back when I was a little bit younger, I was one of those diehard, like, you got to have the character exactly like the character. He's got to look like the character, got to act like the character. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset. And I couldn't do that anymore. I'm like, there's going to be no adaptation of the comics that's going to be perfect because it's just not possible. So, do they tell a good story? And is the story going to keep me coming back for more? That's all I'm looking for. And I hope that this is the way it is in this. Let me see what I miss here. Yeah, did not think we are going to be on this topic this long. This is great. Maybe we can be a generous, and perhaps a crypto scene happens after a really dark moment, and the dog is the palate cleanser to lighten the mood. Now, that's a great point. I'll give you that. If that is the case, we're coming out of like some really intense. Now that's fine. That's some good storytelling. I get that. If what we just witnessed Superman go through is really dark and intense and it's kind of got you on the edge of your seat and you're like, holy shit, like I can't believe they went there. And then we get a little comedy coming out of that. Yeah, that works. That works. Absolutely. Art of Roy's in the house. According to Chris Gore, this scene is the opening. Okay, see, that's what I was wondering. See, I didn't even read anything. I don't even know who Chris Gore is. But Roy, I just asked that question a little bit ago. I was like, is this the opening scene? Because it feels like an opening scene, which again could be fine if we're going to do some flashbacks and figure out what the hell happened. Not a bad way to start a movie where your hero Superman, we're all coming with expectations of just seeing Superman, right? I mean, it's Superman. And the first time you see him, he's fallen to earth and he's beat to shit. And now you got to figure out what's going on. I get that. It works better as an opening scene. If that's what it is, I'm a little bit more, that makes me feel a little bit better. I think I personally like Burns' Man of Steel, Soups when this is sort of the 1960s, 70s feeling of Superman. Yeah. I kind of feel like they're doing that with Fantastic Four too. They're really leaning into that age, which is fine. Uh, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not my kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There are two versions. I don't know why they chose this version of the dog. Comedy relief, probably. The best is to Joe and the mighty chat. You too, sir. You too. It's always a pleasure to have you in here talking with us. We appreciate you very much. Let's see. This was Gun's dog. Like his actual dog? Interesting. Jasper's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. I thought I did see. There he is. Saw his name pop up. Michael Bancroft's in the house. My ambivalence to another superhero film is surprisingly even me. It's surprising even me. Sorry. I gotta get the way you talk. It's very smart compared to the way I ramble. If people say it's good, I'll watch. Yeah, there you go. Rick Saley's in the house, member of the channel. What's up, everyone? What's up with you, brother? Good to see you. The guy that voiced Rocket. Oh, okay. Okay. That's his name? Really? Okay. Silver Age feel, I'm down. What's going on, Max? Good to see you. Apparently, a lot of people are liking the Silver Age. I'm pushing back a little bit on the Silver Age. It's not what I want to see. But again, that's my era of comics was not the Silver Age coming up. But again, if it's a good story, it's a good story. Hands down. Plain and simple. If it's a good story, it's a good story. And that's all I'm looking for. And I hope it is. Hope it is. You got to check out some of Neil Adams, John Byrne's Superman comics. I know the art. I don't own any of them. It was a little bit before my time. But I do... Great artists. Great artists. This is those days when the comics... 25 cents. Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Go back to those days. Saving a lot of money. I hear you on the Silly Dog clip, it wasn't a very good hook. And see, that's just my thing. And it might play out. It might work. It might work in the long run. It's just, for the first clip, you're trying to get people excited about this movie. And I get it. There are people that are just legitimately excited no matter what, because it is what it is. But there's also a lot of people you got to try to convince to come see the movie. And so this is not the clip I would have put out there. It's something that didn't really get me excited. And this is coming from somebody that wants to see the movie. I'm anticipating seeing it. I'll go see it opening weekend. But this just was not the clip for me. Agreed. I love Rogue One. I love Andor, and I can't wait for the next season of Andor. A gritty Star Wars. Andor was pretty interesting. For half the season, I was just like, what is this? This is the most boring thing in the world. And then the second half actually picked up and was pretty interesting. So we'll see. Roland Joe's honest movie reviews. That's exactly what I'll give you. Not so much a review, but I'll tell you what I think about things. Did it with Snow White. Did it with Snow White. Joe, you're old. If you were younger. Okay, hold on a second. What? I'm only 43, man. Joe, you're old. If you were younger, would you be excited? It would be great if this film brings in more younger people. Hey, great point on that. That's a great point too. I guess, yeah, the older I get, my tastes mature a little bit and what I'm looking for in my comic book movies. So that is a great point too. I want the movie to be successful. I really do. But I still have to be honest in how I feel about it. I can't be in the other way. This is a storyline where Soups get the All-Star Superman, I think. Everyone's saying this is inspired by it, or it's inspired by that. So I don't know. I would hope that they wouldn't actually go that way. I that's not what I'm looking for out of this movie. But we'll see. Pancross blushing for being called talking smart. Yeah, it's the accent. That's what it is. The Australian accent, the British accent. It's just there's something about it that just that's what it is. They sound smart. Yes, Byrne on Superman, Batman Generations is great stuff. Byrne primarily known as a Marvel guy. That is true, but he did great work at DC as well. He did one of the better runs of Superman, I believe, after he went over there. Although I would be lying if I said I was a little young at that point, so I was not watching too much of that. So, all right. Great discussion there on the Superman clip. Got into a lot more than I thought we would. In various opinions out there. I like it. I like, again, I like good debate. I like good discussions on this kind of stuff. So that was fun. Did you? All right, I'm gonna jump back to what I was gonna show you guys before we just jumped into that, because that's what it dictates. That's where we go. Okay. One thing I saw, and I don't even know if this came out of CinemaCon, to be honest with you, or if this was just something that came out around the same time, but I saw this. I was like, I want to check this out because this looks hilarious. I did not know they were making another movie of this, and here we go. So, how many people saw the Naked Gun trailer that they put out? And what do you think? Now, were you a fan of Naked Gun when it came out? I remember the first movie, I think I was. I can't quite remember the second movie. Whatever one Anna Nicole Smith was in. That's the one I remember. I don't know if that was one or two. But I remember that movie specifically. But I saw this, I was like, what the hell is this? But this actually looks like it could be funny. Let's check it out.
Multiple SWAT units respond.
I think it's good casting too. Good casting.
Hey, little girl, stop.
What do you want, little one?
Yeah.
Your ass.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Who are you?
Frank Drebin, Police Squad. The new version.
Oh, I don't want to pause it there. Okay. I have to say, like, I don't know if the comedy is going to be on the same level. You're talking about classic comedy with the Naked Gun series. So who knows? But I think this has the potential to be a very funny movie. And seeing Liam Neeson in this kind of role is great. I think he retired from the action scene. Like the whole action movies resparked his career later in life, which is kind of interesting. But he retired from that, and I haven't actually seen him do too much. It's fun to see him kind of come back in this role where we know him from the action stuff over the last I don't know how many years, but now he's going to kind of be playing that, but now with this comical twist, and I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm digging it. What are you saying? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that scene. Threw me for a loop. That was ahead of its time. It's ahead of its time.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
Sound of the police. They see ya, 'cause I would never be ya.
I don't know. I think that looks good. I think it looks really good. I like how they pay tribute to the original cast, and the OJ stuff come on. That was funny. Rewatch Darkman. I haven't seen Darkman in forever. I should. It's been a second. Seth MacFarlane has the potential to knock it out of the park on this. He does, and I love Seth MacFarlane's humor. And so far, I mean, I think that he's probably a good choice for this. Is he going to try to capture the tone of the original movies? Is he going to do his own thing? I don't know, but I think it has a potential. It would just be a teaser. I mean, it could be dog shit. It could not be funny at all until we actually see it. But I think it's, I'm looking forward to this. I might actually go see this in the theater, and I haven't seen a movie like this in the theater in a long time. Hells yeah. I was a fan of Naked Gun movies. I hope they will be Naked Gun 44 Magnum after they do 3 of these movies. Now that would be cool. That'd be cool. I like Naked Gun, but I like Police Academy a little bit better. See, I never got into Police Academy. That was a funny movie. Is that the movie I'm thinking of? There's a scene in there I think is funny. But Naked Gun, I really got into. I like the slapstick stuff. They don't make enough of at least they don't make good slapstick comedies anymore. Just a really stupid, like Airplane, hilarious. Hot Shots. I was a huge fan of Hot Shot. The Hot Shot movies. Hot Shot 1, Hot Shot Part 2 was great. So I'm good. I'm glad to see this kind of movie kind of coming back, and I hope it's that feel and not too overthought. I guess if they did a rapid fire joke on joke comedy, it'll land. This could be good. This could be good. We might actually see comedy return, which is exciting. Honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. We need a good comedy, like good comedy. When is the last time we had a slapstick comedy like this that was good? At least I can't think of any lately. Somebody in the chat, let me know. But I don't. All I can do is go back to the 90s and 80s when I think of like this kind of slapstick comedy. So it's good to see that they are actually getting into it and leaning back. Yeah, that was a funny joke. Yeah, a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it. Mike McMahon, what's going on, bro? This is a member for 3 months. Says, finish the book, and man, not prepared for how good of an action writer you are. Reaper Destroyer hits on all cylinders. Thank you, brother. And I saw your unboxing. I really appreciate the review. Guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, can I mod you up in here? If you're not. Oh, no, you are. Drop a link to your channel, Mike, so everybody can, one, go sub to Mike's YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and go check out his unboxing of Reaper Destroyer. It's pretty cool. And thank you, brother. I really appreciate you that you read it, and thank you for the review. I'm glad you liked it, man, because I just started issue 2. I just started drawing issue 2. I'm almost done with the first page, and I'm getting back into it, and it's feeling awesome, man. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ace Ventura 2 is the GOAT for me. Nice, brother. Dude, you're not joking on that. When Ace Ventura came to VHS, after it got out of the theaters, me and my best friend and my older brother, who's a few months older than me, we went and rented it, and I shit you not, we watched it like 13 times in a row. Just hit the rewind button at the end, zzz, go all the way back to the beginning, start again. 13 times in a row on a weekend, we watched Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Such an awesome movie. I still love it to this day. Classic. My favorite. One of my favorites. Admiral Wackass is in the house. What's going on, brother? Trailer didn't give me much hope for a new movie, but we'll see. Wasn't much in there. Yeah, it was a teaser, but I don't know. I thought it was funny for a teaser, and I like Liam Neeson. I think there's a potential that this could be really, really good if they do it right. And I say this all the time. Like, everything has potential if it's done right, but they just have to do it right. Adamantium Black Comics Collectibles says, definitely big comedy shoes to fill, taking over for Leslie. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And that's why it might not land, because anytime you're doing a sequel to a movie that was a classic movie 20, 30 years, you got to do it right. You got to do it right. Police Academy was hilarious, but was 4 to 5 years before Joe's child. Yeah, I was a little young when that movie came out, but I was young when Naked Gun came out too. And I don't know. I mean, I still watched it. It didn't land like some of the other comedies did with me. Tucker and Dale versus Evil was good slapstick in 2010. Okay, yeah, that was good. I remember seeing that. I've only seen that once, but that was, not bad. That's a good one to put up there. My oldest brother played as an extra in the first Hot Shots movie. Scene when Lloyd Bridges falls off the plane. Really? No shit, dude. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I like that. Ace Ventura 1 and 2 masterpieces. Facts. I mean, you can't top the late 80s, early 90s comedies. So many classic comedies made in a 10-year period there. Somewhere in mid 80s to mid 90s, right? So many awesome classic comedy movies. They just don't make movies like that anymore. Go back and watch Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Name them. Name all the movies that happened in that kind of era, right? And just think of the movies that came after that for a 20-year span. You can't touch it. You can't touch it. It's just, there was a comedy gold back then. And I don't know if it's just the world's gotten too political, formulaic with the way we do movies now, but they don't do them like that. It makes me feel damn old to say that, right? Like, oh, they don't make them like they used to. Damn old saying that, but it's absolutely true. They just have not found anything to touch that yet. And that's with a lot of things. That's with action movies. Shit, dude. Jurassic Park, 1993, when that came out, still holds up today. If you go watch that movie, the special effects still good. Yeah, you can see it's dated itself, here or there. You see some of the animatronics stuff that they do, but that movie still holds up. And when I think about like how old I was when that movie came out, I was 11 years old, I think, when that movie came out. That's insane. Still good today. Jaws is still good today, even though the shark is a little goofy looking here, but still a great movie. Something about old style movie telling that we just don't have anymore. We've kind of lost it, and I don't know exactly why. Anything Jim Carrey did is hard to beat. There was that point in time, man, in the 90s where Jim Carrey, he was untouchable. Like, he was so influential. I think me and my friends in our 40s, we still quote Jim Carrey lines to this day from the movies because it was such an impact on us when we were teenagers, young teens to later teens. But his movies, his lines, burnt into our brains. Jasper Clan 9 says, I watched Batman Forever yesterday for Val Kilmer passing. Watch Heat today. Yeah, that was sad news. He was young too. He was only in his 60s. That sucked. Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff. He was very choosy with his movies, so he didn't have a shit ton of movies they did, but the movies he did do were pretty fun. Batman Forever, obviously, Heat was really good. It was cool to see him reprise his role. Was it Iceman in the Top Gun Maverick movie that came out a few years back? I think that was his last on-screen role. So yeah, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Rest in power, as they say. I'll say most of Adam Sandler's stuff. There's a few movies in there, a few stinkers I'm not a big fan of, but for the most part, I love that actor. I love just his comedy. His style of comedy still holds up great today with almost everything he does. He can do the really, really stupid stuff, and then he can kind of do the comedy, the heartwarming comedy, like with Big Daddy and name it, whatever movies. But yeah, no, great. I love that stuff. Well, that's a great point. People get offended way too easy, and often times are so good. People are just itching to be upset about anything. Yeah, that's a great point. Oh yeah, that's that underrated. That movie is very underrated for how hilarious that movie is. But it's funny if anybody's watching this movie now, that movie today, I could see where the sensitive generations or the sensitive political atmosphere that we live in today could get offended by that movie. But that's what made comedy great. It should be offensive. Comedy should offend people in a funny way. It makes you laugh at things that are uncomfortable. That's what I love about comedy. And we don't get that anymore. It's all too safe now. It's too safe, or it's really, really adult, gross comedy, which sometimes can be funny, but that was a good movie. Great call, Bancroft. The Cable Guy. Now that's an interesting movie. That's probably one of the least liked movies that Jim Carrey did. I remember it didn't do well at the theaters. It was a weird role for him to play. It was like a dark comedy, and I don't think anybody was really ready for the dark comedy out of Jim Carrey at the time. I have to go watch it again. It's been years since I watched it, but it's not my favorite. The Mask is a classic. Oh, jeez. Hell yes, it is. These are bigger than these sausages. Oh, yeah. So good. Hey, my wife is in the chat. Simmons is old. A little liar there. It's an inside joke. My wife can quote, if you guys are familiar with Liar, a scene where he's in with his boss and he's got to he's roasting him. He's got to tell the truth, right? And he starts with this dude named Simmons. He's like, Simmons is old. And he goes off in this whole rant. I can't do it, but my wife can nail that entire scene perfectly. Word for word, inflection for inflection. It's hilarious. Absolutely love it. Tropic Thunder is still hilarious. Fantastic movie. Great movie. I'm glad that movie pisses some people off these days because it's just sense of humor is gone, and that's the kind of movie we need for that. Heat is great, but I hate the very end with a passion. I have to go watch that again. It's been a second since I've seen that movie. Over to The Doors. Oh, nice. Val Kilmer. I forgot about him playing in The Doors. Tropic Thunder was one of the last greats. Yeah, you're probably right on that. They touched in some areas there that even today was starting to get pushed back on Robert Downey Jr. for doing the blackface. It's just whatever. Can't wait to get my copy of Reaper Destroyer. I can't wait for you to get it, and hopefully it's in the mail. We've got over 800 orders out of the 1290, so hopefully people are getting their copies here pretty soon. But we are moving along at a lot faster pace than we were when we first started. So the shower scene when he realized she was a dude, classic. Yeah. Now you guys make me want to go watch these movies again. I haven't watched some of them for a while. That's why I love the chat. I love you guys. The last great comedy to be made was Tropic Thunder, made in 2008, if we can believe it. Man, that was 2008? That is crazy. Yeah, that was great. That was a great comedy. Adamantium Blade Comics Collectible says, I think thin-skinned, I think the thin-skinned, how dare you, clutching the pearls culture is dissipating quickly, I think. Comics are going hard on the hot button issues. Comics isn't comic. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's what it is. Politics killed everything, man. The whole political correct movement, well, back in, when did that actually start? But it picked up steam like what, around 2009, 2010, when it really, really picked up steam. Yeah, it killed a lot of things. Of kind of how many times I watched Cable Guy. Maybe I need to go check that out again, because it was a movie I have not really seen in a long time. The Saint was interesting. I remember The Saint because it came out like not too long after Batman Forever came out, which really got people like that, put Val Kilmer over the top at the time. He'd been obviously doing quite a bit of acting, but that was a movie that just pushed him into stardom for a little while. And The Saint came out, and that was an interesting movie. I don't really remember too much of it, but I went and saw it in the theater. I remember that. She was very beautiful. Oh. The Hangover was the last great comedy for me. The first one was really good. The second one was fine. It was just kind of repeated the same thing. Some funny jokes in there. Still made me laugh. The third one was okay. They at least tried to do something different in that one, so I applaud them. But the first one, yeah, that was really, really good. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to X out some of these things I was going to talk about because the conversation has been so great. So let me jump into... okay. I just want to bring this up because we were talking about sequels. They are, I don't know if you guys didn't know, they were going to make a live action Tangled movie, which the original Tangled movie is one of my daughter's favorite movies, and it's actually a pretty good movie. But they're not going to anymore because of the way that Disney's Snow White has performed at the box office, which has been absolutely abysmal. But I like this. I like the fact that they're not doing it anymore because it makes me feel like they might be learning a little bit of a lesson, unless they are just taking a break and they're going to push it through anyway somewhere down the line. But says the pause occurs in the wake of the rather underwhelming release of Disney's latest live-action adaptation, Snow White. This movie has grossed only $69 million domestically and $145 million worldwide on a production budget of $270 million. The budget inflated due to the 2003 labor strikes. Blah, 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 blah. Mostly, it's because the casting and creative choices, then into press tour to social media posts from Rachel Ziegler. And this is the real reason. I don't care. Yeah. Labor strikes, all this kind of stuff. This movie didn't perform good because of one factor, and that's Rachel Ziegler. There might have been other factors. The fact that they took the dwarves out. We covered this all, blah, blah, blah. This is the reason why the movie didn't perform good. It's funny. I went over to TikTok and posted some of the clipped up videos of some of my shows talking about this. Interesting crowd over there on TikTok, because there's a lot more liberal people over there that just get offended by everything. And it was kind of funny because you know me, if you guys follow me on X or just whatever, you know I like to troll with people. Now, I've been actually trying to engage in some actual conversation with people over there that just jump in and you call me a middle-aged white man and like all this kind of stuff, and actually try to engage in conversations with them. Of course they don't. So I might just go to trolling over there, but it's been pretty funny. It makes me just want to put content like this over there just to piss people off. But I like the fact that they are not doing this Tangled movie anymore. One, the premise for it, I don't know quite what it was going to be, but I got to imagine if it was going to follow in the footsteps of Snow White, it was not going to be anything like the movie. Plus, they cast that, what's her name? She's Poe? No, that's not her name. She's in the new Thunderbolts movie. She was in the last Black Widow movie. Somebody in the chat, help me out here. Blonde hair, whatever. They cast that actress in the movie. I felt way too old for the character of Rapunzel. It just didn't make sense. So it made me, that was like the first real worry about the movie, besides the fact that it's another sequel. I don't too much mind the sequels. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of these sequels are not sequels, I'm sorry, remakes of the animated movies into live actions. Lilo and Stitch. If you guys have seen the previews for Lilo and Stitch, actually looks really damn good. I think that movie's going to hit with the crowd. My daughter saw it. She definitely loved it. So I think that movie's going to be well received because it looks like they are following the actual story and instead of trying to reinvent the character like Snow White did, which didn't do well. I feel like that's what they're going to do with Tangled. And I'm glad they shelved it. Hopefully they have learned their lesson and they are moving on. She was going to be a bulb. Now that the funny thing about that is I could actually see them doing that. Oddly enough, that would have been, yeah. Actual conversations on the internet, Joe, go wild. And you, wild and crazy guy. I know, man. It's sometimes I troll so often, because I enjoy it. It's entertaining for me because usually a lot of times people are more invested into the conversation than I am as far as like they're so emotionally attached to whatever subject we're talking about. And I legitimately sometimes just want to have a conversation. I want to know why you think the way you think. And I just want to say why I think the way I think on the subject. And I'm not that emotionally attached to it. But when people do, I find it fun just to troll them because it's no longer an actual conversation. You're talking to somebody that's emotionally immature in that aspect. So why not just push their buttons a little? And I like to do that. I've tried not to going over to TikTok because I want to just be like, why do you think that? Yeah, you called me a nasty name. You insulted me, blah, blah, blah. I'm ugly, white, old. I get it. Rachel Ziegler is hot, makes lots of money. She'll be fine. My opinion doesn't matter. But why is that? Why do you, I'm trying to engage with that stuff, but I think I'm actually going to get back into trolling. I think that's just what I'm going to do. The Instagram posts about the producer having a fly across the country to what's her face out is great. Yeah, I covered that in the last show. What's funny? It's he made such a great point about how her comments damaged the movie. And also, you could have harmed a lot of people that work on that movie, the thousands of people that work on that movie that have nothing to do, make the sets, all that kind of stuff. And you have an overprivileged actress going out and bringing her personal political beliefs or whatever into the promotional of a movie that should be there to help, promote to all audience. You bring everybody in to come see the movie. That's the point. That's not the time and place to really go out there and put your political beliefs out there. But it's the world we live in. So it is what it is. But I liked what he said because it was it was a truth bomb in that aspect. It was absolute truth saying like, words have consequences. You promote your movie in a certain way, you're going to have blowback. And you can't blame anybody except for the actress or the actor that speaks out and does those kind of things when your movie tanks and bombs. Like that is on you. It's not on the people not coming to see your movie because they're racist or they're homophobic or they're sexist or whatever. I thought it was a great statement by the Jonah Platt, I think his name was. Sonntag is getting in on the Disney princess grift. Not really. I have a 6-year-old daughter. So I see all these movies. There's just no way around it. And to be honest with you, I've always been a fan of Disney cartoons going back to when I was a kid. I enjoy cartoons in general. So if a good cartoon comes out and I can watch it with my daughter, and I can enjoy it, that's better for me. So this is not a grift, but there's conversations to talk about here when it comes to what is going on with the Disney content, because I have to check out a lot of content when it comes to letting my daughter watch certain things, because there's certain stuff that comes out that I'm just like, no, we're not going to let our daughter watch this for whatever reason. So I have to keep an eye out on what's going on with these movies to make sure that it's appropriate or they are doing something I think is actually going to be a benefit to my daughter as opposed to preaching an ideology to my daughter, which, I'm not going to let happen. It's just not going to happen. Florence Poe or something. Yes, that's it. Way too old. She's not a teenager. She couldn't pull that off. Plus, she's not attractive, in my opinion. Sorry. Sure, I offended somebody out there. Sorry, I can't help. I don't watch any of this trash. I know, brother. I know. Trust me. I know. Yes, people really hate opinions that aren't the same as theirs. That's true. It's because I was raised, maybe in a different generation because I'm getting old, but I was raised, the whole sticks and stones generation. I also don't get offended by anything anybody else says or what they believe or what they do. That's just how I was brought up. So it's just, sometimes I'm still kind of shocked that people turn on a dime when you have a difference of opinion and are just ready to just try to cut to your heart with whatever verbiage they can use. And a lot of times I'm just like, dude, that's falling short. Like, good on you. There's sometimes people who say something to me that makes me laugh. I'm like, that was good. That was a good one. That was a good burn. Congratulations to you. Kudos to you. That was funny. But most of the time, I'm just like, hey, no, you look like an idiot. Tangent. What are your favorite 3 out of or 5 Marvel Comics runs of all time? You seem to be a big fan of Liefeld. We're definitely going to talk about Liefeld here in a second. Favorite 3 or 5 comic book runs of all time. Oh, that's kind of hard. No, just off the top of my head, I mean, Age of Apocalypse was good. Fatal Attractions. I liked Hush. The Death of Superman was classic. Nightfall, Night Quest were great. Extreme Sacrifice, when it came to the Image stuff of Liefeld, was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Executioner's Song, when it came to the X-Men, the big crossover with the X-Men titles back in the day was really good as well. Yeah, I mean, I could probably go on and on about that. But yeah, we'll just throw that out there. I don't know if that was the answer to your question or not, but we'll go with that. Have you had some recent experiences with that or something, Jay? Must have missed what was said there. Pew, 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 pew. We have Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6 in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you guys. I don't know if I've seen a lot of the names that are in here, but if you guys haven't yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow the channel. I've also been putting out a lot more broken up shorts for the shows that we do here and some clips of the stuff that we do as well. If you guys see those, go out there. Even if you've seen the show before, take the time, like it, watch a little bit of it, comment, because all that helps grow the channel. For some reason, I feel like I'm shadow banned here on YouTube where watch hours are going up. A lot of the analytics stuff is all improving, but the subscribers just kind of stay. They actually keep ticking down, which is funny. You were old as soon as you referred to a VG. Yeah. My wife is reminding me of how old I am. Thank you, babe. Thank you. I'm too busy blazing trails to look back to see what everyone else is doing. I like that, Rick. That's what I like about you, brother. This is my first time here. Just liked it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So that was just all right. Let's get to the Liefeld stuff, because this is gonna, maybe it's more interesting for me when it comes to the indie comics, when it comes to selling indie comics. But I believe that Liefeld has seen the light. If I can find what I'm actually looking for here. There we go. All right. So I went to my LCS the couple weeks back, and I was like, can you put Youngblood on my pull list? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I was like, well, I thought it was coming out in April. And he's like, they haven't put it up yet for us to actually get. So he's like, I don't know if it's been pushed back or what's going on with it. I was like, okay, that's weird. Then I went home, and then Liefeld had this thing on Whatnot where he's like, hey, cover or this issue of Youngblood is out. You get only available here. I was like, cool, I'm going to grab it, like a premiere cover or whatever. Still fully expecting that it was going to be in the shops fairly soon. Then I see this article come out by Rob. Actually, I saw this on X before I saw it, or not X. I saw it on Facebook before I saw it anywhere else. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So Rob is somebody that pays attention to what's going on in the industry. He tries to get ahead of trends. If you remember back in the 90s, he was pretty much on that trend of the independent stuff, or you're seeing that people were following artists, not so much characters or writers. And he was able to kind of ride that into Image and really, create what he created out of that. He's been on the trend with a lot of different things when it comes to the pulse of the industry. And I think he is seeing the rise of crowdfunding books as a way to get the money right to the consumer, to kind of skip the middleman. And also, you're probably keeping a lot more money that way than anything else. So he talks about this platform. What does he call it? A platform release is what he referred to it as. So he says, Youngblood, the new issue is is a platform release, just like with certain films where the movie plays in 2 to 3 theaters for a few weeks before it goes wide. It's a non-traditional, but is 100% the way to go with this launch. The success in this approach has already happened. I won't be reporting orders. I'll be reporting actual box office. I'll share what Youngblood has earned and right now, with 4 weeks to go, it's staggering. Considering that we pulled pre-orders a few weeks back and are currently only offering 9.99 golden apple variants, which is, if you guys didn't jump in on this, I hope you did. I went and grabbed mine right off the bat. Now there's a ton of different covers. I think I only got one of the covers, but yeah, I got that at regular price. Now they're up to like the $9.99 golden apple variant. All money from Youngblood is being put back into making more extreme comic books. That's exciting if you're a Liefeld fan. When he started Image Comics with the rest of the guys, Sylvester Lee, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, he was the first book out. Youngblood was the first book to hit the shelves with the Image title on it in 1992. And that sparked the Extreme Universe, which we saw tons of artists, tons of inkers, tons of colorists come out of it. Awesome characters. Obviously, Youngblood, you got Prophet, ton of characters. Blood Wolf came out of there. And he is back now for the first time in years, back into his Extreme Studios characters. And as far as I know, he keeps talking about the idea of retiring sooner than later, which I hope he doesn't, because he's one of those guys that loves what he's doing, and you can feel that. You feel it when he talks about it, the stories he puts out, the art that he draws, which I still enjoy the art. Some people dog it. Fuck those people. I don't care. But he's jumping back into Extreme Studios for the first time in a long time. And that's what his focus is going to be. So hearing that the money is going to be made and put back into Extreme characters is great. We're going to get a Prophet book. We're probably going to get a Brigade again, Blood Strike. All the classic Extreme Studios characters I think are coming back. But it's going to start with Youngblood, and that's going to be launching now in April. But you can only get it on this platform release, which is pretty much crowdfunding or pre-ordering if that's what you're going to talk about it. But I think this is the way to go for independents like Rob Liefeld, like me, like Michael Bancroft there in the chat there, is doing this kind of crowdfunding format. Or if you were fortunate enough to be able to actually make the book before you put it out there, I think this is the way to go. And I think this is going to bring a lot of light to the industry. I mean, he's probably seen the stuff that Eric July is doing as well. Lots of money to be made out there with doing it this way. And what's cool about this is he says down the line, Youngblood will be offered in the mass market the fall of 2025. So he took the book from April going into the LCSs, moved it back to the fall of 2025, and he's going to put out books himself leading up to that before it goes mass release. The amount of money he's going to make from there is going to be staggering, in my opinion, because the majority of it's going to go all to him, besides what it takes to produce the book, print it, and get it out to people. That's going to go right to him. What a genius move, seeing what's going on and kind of being, in my opinion, the trailblazer going forward with this. Watch to see other people start doing this. I guarantee guys like Silvestri, maybe not McFarlane because he's got his thing going. I think that's pretty solid. But I think you're going to see other guys follow this model of getting these platform releases out there, whatever you want to call them, before they actually go into the LCSs. I think this thing could really blow up. I think it's only going to help guys like me too. When you talk about independent creators, I'm pretty excited about this. 9.99 or 9.99. Yeah. Knew as soon as I was reading that, I was like, whatever. I'll just roll with it. I've always felt his energy. He could be Stan Lee. He's a great hype man. Sean and I have always talked about that for years. We're like, he is the Stan Lee of our generation because he is so excited about comics. Few people, when they talk about comics, put off that excitement where you can feel it, and it makes you want to go draw. It makes you want to go read books or go out to the LCSs and buy, comics. Like, that's Rob Liefeld can absolutely do that. And I'm so excited to see him come back to Image and go back to Extreme Studios. I grew up an Image guy. Like, it started at Marvel, but as soon as Image started, I was Image from the get-go. And that was my company. That's where it was at. I supported all the Image stuff, and Extreme Studios was one of the studios I was extremely, pun intended, into at the time. You had Dan Fraga came out of there. I was a big fan of Fraga when he was on Blood Strike and Kid Supreme. And what was that? I can't remember the book he was on. Yeah, whatever. There was tons of guys that came out of that. Danny Mickey, came up from one of the greatest inkers. He eventually went on to work with Tom McFarlane over there on Spawn with Greg Capullo and had an illustrious career. I believe he's working for Ghost Machine right now, for Image Comics, Ghost Machine. But he came out of there, and Norm Ratman, Jeff Masuda. Anyway, I could go on and on. But they had a ton of talent there, a ton of young talent, and a lot of awesome characters that fit the time, the day and age of comic books at the time, that appealed to the teenage boys like me. It was amazing. So coming back to it now in his 50s, I'm in my 40s. I get to finally see this again. I'm excited. And the way he's doing it, I think is going to be the way to go. I forgot about that. Yeah. You know what's funny about that is I almost bought one of those when it was out. I was on the verge of getting, I was just like, I have to have it. I have to have it. Jim Lee's got a backpack coming. I gotta go. I gotta go get this thing. I'm glad I didn't. I didn't need it. But yeah, you're right. You're right on that. Youngblood is a solid concept, like celebrity Avengers. Yeah, it was cool for the day and age, and I'll be interested to see how he not retcons it, but sets it up for a 2025 version of the book, because Youngblood was always pop culture. It's not going to be Youngblood. Let's pick up where Youngblood left off in whatever year it was in early 2000s or whenever he did the last Youngblood book. It's going to be picking up in 2025. There's going to be pop culture references, and that's what makes that team so good, is you can really play off of the pop culture of today and put it into the stories. I'm excited for the return of Youngblood. Yes, you are, just like I am. Let's go. This is McFarlane's guy. I only know Todd. I think he's a big time sports memorabilia. Oh, yeah. Todd is? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He spent some money on some baseballs. Mark McGwire's baseball, I think he owns. Barry Bonds, I want to say he owns too. He might even own a Sammy Sosa one. He's got one of those three, if not all three. I'm not sure. But he's spent some money on some baseball. He actually tried to be little league, or he tried to get into the major leagues when he was younger. He wanted to be a baseball player before he broke into comics. Apparently he was pretty decent. I don't know if he hurt himself or whatever it was that kind of kept him from going that route, but I think we were benefit that happened, because we got some amazing art. We got an amazing character like Spawn. Think of, for anybody that's just DC Marvel out there, then you might not really care. But if you go back to the 90s, think of what comics would have been like without Spawn. Just for a second. And you might be like, oh, it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know. Spawn changed the landscape of independent comics when that came out. It was #1 comic book for years in the 90s. And it just changed the way the storytelling was done, or characters were looked at, and what you could do with characters. It's a benefit to us that Todd never made it in baseball. What Rob, Jim, Todd, and all the rest of them did had to happen. Creators deserve to reap the benefits of a character they drew / write, etc., for as long as they are published. I agree. That was a monumental moment in comics and changed comics forever. Without Image Comics, you'd still have the big two. You'd still have Marvel, DC doing their thing. But I really think that Image showed you what independent comics could be, or what a collective creators could do when they got together and actually put their own stuff out without having the big guys take all the credit for their characters. I think sometimes it's swept under the rug of how important it was of a moment for comic books back in 1992 when that happened. I don't think comics would be the same without Image Comics. And that's a shout out to Rob, Jim, Todd, Mark, even Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, for going out and making that big move. Yeah, in the minors for 2 years, but okay, that's what I thought. I can't remember if he hurt his shoulder or something. But I thought he hurt himself somewhere. I think I've been the only one that didn't like the second Suicide Squad, and I'm glad that it's not only one. Glad I'm not the only one. It was bad. I've said that for years. In fact, people get upset when I say that Gunn's Suicide Squad sucked, but I absolutely did. It was regurgitated humor pushed to the more adult R-rated stuff, but there was nothing that happened in that movie that I thought was actually funny. I was just like, all right, that gag's been done before, that joke's been told before. There was nothing new about it. It seemed like just redone over again jokes and formula of the movie, and I didn't think it was good at all. Your shoulder sounds right. I think the shoulder, you might be right on that one. Image Revolution was awesome. Facts, man. I still like, there's the Image Revolution documentary that was on YouTube is actually pretty good if you guys get a chance to check that out. It it might not be 100% accurate, but it's a really good telling of what happened back then. I'll still watch it every once in a while just to get psyched because it reminds me of like the best time in comics when I was, in the ages of 10 to 16, I think is when like a lot of the Image stuff hit and was going there for a while, real popular. And that was like right in there when I wanted to be a comic book artist and was just living the dream of getting up there. The book Image put out on the initial ears were incredible. Wetworks is still unmatched to me. Wetworks was good. It sucked that Portasio had the tragic event happen in his life where he couldn't launch with the rest of the guys in 92, but he ended up coming back and launching the book regardless. And it was good, man. It's a good concept. I like the whole monster hunters with their gold symbiote costumes. Michael Bancroft says, I'm not happy without cock in my hand. I feel you, man. I get you. I'm not up to the details of Rob's contract with Marvel, but I think of the lost revenue for Rob because of Marvel owns Deadpool. Yeah, you got to imagine one of his most popular characters, if not to date, the most popular character he ever did, still will always be owned by Marvel Comics. I know he gets a royalty. He's got to get some kind of royalty still. But yeah, the amount of money that he could have made, it would just gone right into his pocket if he had the ownership's right to that. Man, think about it. Yeah. I guess Willis had family in the military and used a bunch of the stories and drew on his knowledge from Wetworks. Nice. Can't remember if he mentioned it on the Stone Omni launch. Actually, I don't think I knew that. That's awesome. How long have I been drawing comics? Well, I've only been just recently. I just put out my first comic, Reaper Destroyer, just a little bit ago. It's actually still going out. So I guess relatively only a few years, only however long it took me to make that book. I've been drawing since I was 8, though. On and off again, here or there. I've been drawing since I was 8. So a while, I guess, but not actually really doing comics until recently. And that's thanks to crowdfunding. That's why I see what Rob Liefeld is doing as something that's going to benefit crowdfunding and pre-order platforms a lot. So I'm excited about that. So more attention you can bring to going the less traditional way from the LCSs and going to more like direct to the consumer, which is what I do, I think is a great thing. The Image documentary and the Chris Claremont one from time to time. I have. Oh, wait. No, I did see the Claremont one. Yes, I did. Yep. That's a good one too. Still living the dream of getting up there. Yes, sir. Yes. I was in a band. That is facts. That is absolute facts. All right, guys. I didn't cover everything I wanted to do, which is normally what happens, and the show always runs longer than I think it's going to run. But you guys are fantastic at having a great conversation. I appreciate you guys joining me here every Sunday and just making this fun. Wherever you guys are watching, whether it's right now live, please like, subscribe, come over to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. If you're watching X, if you're on Rumble, share it out. Let people know that the show is live, that we do this every Sunday at 10 p.m. I also do a show called The Spawn Review on Mondays at 9 p.m. That'll be tomorrow. We're going to be looking at the Book of Nyx over there. So join us there. It's always a fun conversation, everything Spawn. And then Ott and Stuff at 8 p.m. on Thursdays with me and my co-host, Sean Arendt, rocking and rolling out there. And chat, you guys, again, you make this great. I wouldn't do that. Trust me, I wouldn't just stream if there was nobody in the chat. I mean, maybe I would. I do like the sound of my own voice, and I can look at myself and I'm like, that's not bad. Narcissistic, a little bit vain, I guess, maybe here or there. It's like looking in a mirror, and it's not a bad job. It's not a bad sight, I have to say. I'll just continue talking because I like the sound of my own voice. Okay. Oh, yeah, I bet. Day 3,749. I missed what that was. Missed it. Have a great night. Fun as always. Thank you, brother. From one Ronin to another, I dig the show, Joe. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. That's high compliment coming from Michael, who is a guy who's been doing the solo act for a long time, which is definitely an inspiration to get out here and start doing my own thing when I get a chance. I do like streaming with other people. That's always fun, but sometimes it's nice to just get out here and shoot the shit with everybody. So I love it. Just a little vain. Thank you, brother. Yeah. I admit it all, man. I admit it all. Let's go. I have no worries, no fears. All right. Let's get out of here. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay in the chat. You'll be directed over to the Gooch and the Gang, one of the best shows on Sunday night. They'll be over there having great topics, great panel, and you won't regret it. So I'm going to get out of here. Short outro, but here we go. Until I see you guys tomorrow. Take care of one another. Be good to each other. Picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.